So, Mr. Thompson, just to your last statement, that there was a choice that the committee made to go the criminal route and not the civil route. Did you have a hearing? Did you take a vote on that?
Well, we take a vote on everything we do as a committee. The committee looked at it, the choices. Obviously, we could do a number of things. We could do nothing. But we felt in the interest of getting as much information as we could, we pursued the criminal route. It's the more expeditious route. The civil would probably end us up into years of litigation, which would delay the work of the committee.
So is your ultimate goal for a criminal referral to a branch of law enforcement because you don't have the force of the Department of Justice?
No, once we pursue the criminal, it's out of our hand. It's Department of Justice effort after that. We've done it one other time and successfully. But if Steve Bannon decides to defend himself in court, that's independent of our committee. Our goal is to try to get to the facts and circumstances that brought about January 6th.
Okay, to that point, let me just ask you, are there other documents you're pursuing to get to that end, to achieve that end? Are you looking at correspondence and emails from the mayor of Washington, D.C. to the decision to not have protection here on the Capitol?
Well, the mayor is scheduled to testify before our committee. So, I mean, if you know of someone that we ought to bring before the committee to testify, our process has been open. We get suggestions from a number of people.
Well, I will give you these two suggestions. The Speaker of the House and the Senate Majority Leader, Mr. McConnell, had the obligation of protecting the Capitol that day. As a member of Congress, I'm extremely interested in what data they sought, what if there are discoverable items in emails or texts or other documents. I expect your committee to pursue it with just the amount of vigor they're pursuing what many of us see as a purely political process. If you really want to get to the answers, if you really want to protect the Capitol against any future attempts, as Mr. McGovern keeps alluding to, why would you not go to the source, the two people who are tasked with the protection of this institution?
I'll yield to the Vice Chair.
Thank you very much.
Well, wait.
The committee
the question is to the chairman.
Well,
you're in charge of this investigation.
I'd like to add something, Mr. Burgess. I'm sure you won't mind if I do, in the interest of transparency and getting to the facts. Our investigation, as the chairman has noted multiple times, is very broad, gets at exactly the issues you've described. I'd be happy also to forward you the Senate report that has already been completed on those issues, on which we are adding. The issues around the security at the Capitol is critically important. I take issue, though, you describe go to the source. I don't believe that it is your view. I'd be stunned, frankly, if it is, and certainly the facts and the evidence do not bear out the notion that the source of the attack on January 6th was somebody here in the Capitol. This investigation has got to include what happened with respect to intelligence, what happened with respect to law enforcement, what happened here at the Capitol. But there is no doubt that the summoning of the mob to Washington, the provocation of the attack on the Capitol, and the 187 minutes during which we were under violent attack and President of the United States refused to act are indeed critically important areas where, for legislative purposes, which have been affirmed by both the Federal District Court for the District of Columbia and the Circuit Court for the District of Columbia, we have valid legislative purposes to get this information. And I think that with all due respect, my colleague fully understands that.
You know, I don't think that's an accurate assessment. I was aware of people talking just amongst themselves here in the Capitol, the day of the swearing in, the day after the swearing in. Are you worried about what's going to happen later in the week? Do you know about the people that the Proud Boys are going to be here? I did not know. I did not can't say that I actually knew who the Proud Boys were, but these were topics of general discussion going on here. So if you know that, and look, we've had bad protests here at the Capitol before. I was here when the Affordable Care Act went through the legislative process. You don't think we had some really upset people outside the Capitol during those days? Of course we did. This is it's what we do here. But where was the preparation for what everyone seemed to know was coming? Why did it stop? And that is the question that I hope.
Will the gentleman yield? Will the gentleman yield?
No, I will not. This is important. This is the question that I hope you, as an investigative committee, if you were to do your work, Mr. McGovern keeps talking about the next one, the next one, the next one. Let's protect ourselves against the next one by understanding where the deficit were prior to this one. And Mr. Chairman, I just ask a copy of the letter from the Mayor of Washington, D.C. to the acting U.S. Attorney General and the acting Secretary of Defense be made part of the record.
Without objection.
And I'll yield back.
I think, did you want to respond? Yeah, I think-
Well, let me just say that I don't know how you can draw a comparison between the Affordable Care demonstration and what occurred on January 6th.
Right.
I mean, people broke into this institution. They harmed people. They did all kinds of things. Look at any video, Mr. Burgess, that you want to see. This is not the America that we live in. I am thoroughly concerned that for some reason, people did that. And with House Resolution 503, we are tasked with the responsibility of looking to the facts and circumstances of what happened. So I say, if you have additional witnesses you want to suggest, get it to us. But we'll do our work. We'll produce a defensible product based on the facts and circumstances behind what we come up with. And it's not going to be easy, because just like Mr. Meadows started off engaging the committee and stopped in midstream. I don't know if it was the former president saying what he was saying and what he put in his book was fake news, but he stopped right in the middle of an effort that our committee legitimately started negotiating with him. And after a former President Trump made the statement, fake news, we never got another word from Mr. Meadows.